What does retirement at 55 actually feel like? Last week, one night I woke up at 3 a.m. Not through dread of work, but because I was too excited. I lay there in the dark thinking about my projects, my choices, my day ahead. When was the last time you couldn't sleep because you were excited about Monday? Hi, I'm Simon from Salary to Side Hustle. I retired at 55, not to do nothing, but to finally live the days I actually want. So let me show you what a typical day looks like now, because it's probably not what you think. So the first surprise for me was that 3 a.m. wake up and just the excitement that I was feeling with my new life. And the second is that I still continue to set an alarm clock at 7 a.m. Although clearly if I'm waking at 3 o'clock occasionally, I'm not going to need it every day. But I do today because I'm on taxi duty to take my wife to the station, catch a train. So there we go. That's my wife dropped off at the station. She's heading out for the day in Salisbury with some friends. It's a small thing to be able to do, but it's meaningful, especially given that she can have a drink at lunchtime now. She's on the train and I'm going to head out for a run on what is a beautiful but very cold day out there with a bit of a breeze. So it's going to be a chilly one. But 3 months ago, this time would have belonged to my job, and now it's mine. Some of the lanes around where I live are really beautiful, and it makes such a difference to be able to pick and choose when you go out, avoiding that wet and windy weather that's quite commonplace in Somerset. But despite appearances, this day is a lot colder than it looks. There we go, all done. And like anything worthwhile, it was hard work, but rewarding. And now for the short journey home. Back home now, and as you can see, the Gousto box has arrived. So let's dig in and see what we've got. So there we are. That's 40 quid there, 4 meals for the two of us. Not exactly what you would describe as great value, but it stops me doing things like cooking 3 times as much rice or pasta as we need, and it keeps the food a bit more varied than if we cooked it ourselves or bought it ourselves, and it also makes sure that we know what's actually going into our food. And here's what we've got. There we go. So looking forward to getting those put away, and then I'll cook the first one of them later. After a bit of lunch, I'm through now to do the thing that gets me awake at night, but in a good way. It's not worry, it's excitement, and that's my side hustles. Obviously, the name of the channel is Salary to Side Hustle. I've actually got 2 on the go. One is Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, and the second one is YouTube. So what I've done as a long-time computer gamer is I've gamified these, and happily they come with their own built-in scoreboards, so you can see how you're doing day by day. Sometimes you get a dopamine hit, sometimes you get disappointment, but it's something that's really within my own control, and I can put as little or as much effort into it as I want. Today I'm doing about an hour's work. It's just to get a book published, and I'm doing some work on my Amazon adverts. I published a number of stationary pieces rather than books last week that don't have any adverts running to them, and it's about time they did. So that'll take about an hour in total. So if you have a look at the first screen, that's the sales over the last month or so. They've been pretty good for me. They tend to start quite slowly because a lot of my sales come in America. So as you can see, this time of day, just after lunchtime, we've got 17 orders through. And the activity today is just to publish a single book. Rule number 1 about KDP is don't share your book titles or your author names on YouTube, because people copy them, or they report you, or you get review bombed. So unless I accidentally do, I'll never be sharing my actual book titles or the pen names that go with them. So that's Amazon KDP. That's the one I've been doing for about 2.5 years now. And now I've been doing YouTube for about 2 months. So let's just flick over to the dashboard. My first videos I focused entirely on income reports from KDP. There's not a huge audience for that. And then in October, I pivoted towards talking more about retirement, which is obviously what this video is as well. And there's a much bigger audience for that. And as you can see, through October into November, most days I get a few thousand people watching my videos, which is a complete surprise to me, but is also great fun. And happily, on the 8th of November, I was accepted by YouTube into their partner program, which means my channel is now monetized. So as well as it being enjoyable and fun watching the stats, there's now a little bit of money coming in as well, which, given I'm not in full-time work anymore, is really helpful. So get that book published, and then I've got some work to do in the garden. I'll see you out there in just a few seconds. Oh, and whilst I remember, if you are thinking about early retirement or just interested in it as a subject, please do subscribe to the channel. You can watch my journey and see how I'm working all out. So that's it, back to the garden. We had a decent storm come through the last couple of days, so there's leaves everywhere. I better do a quick tidy up. It's also been the first properly cold day today of the year, so the weeds keep on growing. I'm trying to hoe some. This little area here is going to be a herb garden. Only planted them about 2 months ago. They smell amazing. Let's look at this one here. It's oregano. Yeah, absolutely amazing smell. And hopefully some of them will be bee friendly as well. But there we are, pile of leaves. That's it for now. I'll take those to the tip tomorrow. That's me done in the garden. I'm out and about again now, on the way to pick my wife up from the station, but just got time for a quick stop off to meet a couple of friends who are down from where we used to live. Their son's got an interview in the local area, so just time for a quick drink with them. Back at the station now, ready to pick my wife up, although her train's been cancelled. So she's got to change a couple of times now. Hopefully the connections all work out. The pub I've just been in does an amazing quiz on a Sunday night, and we even managed to win 10 quid week before last, so I need to go and cash that in again. But here I am, sitting patiently. The real downside of retiring in the autumn is the nights close in very quickly, so it's already dark where I am by about 4:45, and it's only going to get darker still, be around about 3:45, 4 o'clock when we get into late December. But you know, what can you do? Needed to retire, so that's one of the small downsides to it. Oh no, train delayed 20 minutes. Time for a quick trip to Aldi, I think. So after getting back from taxi duty, had a nice easy evening. Ended up cooking that one. Took about 10 minutes. Tasted very nice. And then we had a bonus call from our son Harry, who is in Melbourne in Australia. So 11 hours time difference. We don't hear as much of him as we'd like, but hopefully we're going to go and see him in January. So that's the big trip for next year, if that all comes off. So most evenings end up with me reading, usually in bed, but you don't want to see that. And I've got an eclectic mix of things I read, but at the moment I'm quite enjoying some Japanese medieval novels. I started with Shogun and then moved on to one called Musashi, and I'm reading one called Taiko at the moment, which I'll just flash up on camera. There we go. It's a lot of fun about the unification of Japan in medieval times. And one of the main differences I've noticed with being retired now is that I'm finishing books. Quite often when I was working, I'd end up reading the same 5 pages night after night and then falling asleep. But yeah, I'm getting through them now, which is great. Getting through the little pile of books that I've had for several months now. And I find that I'm not scrolling, I'm not thinking about work, I'm actually reading. Usually, anyway. Sometimes have a quick doom scroll like everyone else. So that was a typical day. Plenty in it, but certainly for me, it doesn't feel rushed. Lots of variety. There's no single thing that kind of is a standout. Wow, that's retirement. It's the whole thing. It's just the whole structure of the day, doing things that I want to do, doing things that I care about, and it's that gets me waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Just the excitement that I've got a day ahead of me that I'm really looking forward to, not a day that I'm dreading. And tomorrow might look completely different, but that's the point. The goal was never to be idle. It was to fill the days with things that I really wanted to do. So if any of this resonated, please do like and subscribe to the channel. There'll be lots more of this coming, and there's already another 4 videos on my early retirement playlist if you want to have a mini splurge watching those. But until then, this was Simon from Salaries to Side Hustle. Bye for now.